welcome to the queerest stand-up show you will see tonight and possibly for a long time until we have the next one. Yes, my name is Al, and I will be one of your hosts for tonight. We have an incredible night full of an entirely queer lineup. Take that, Hollywood. I've never seen that before. And we know, it is Drag Race All-Stars season finale. But if you're watching this, kudos for supporting local comedy and not those overpaid queens. Thank you. And yes, a little bit more about myself. My name is Al D. Yes, like the supermarket. You know, the one that you never think about because there's always Publix or Trader Joe's or even Winn-Dixie. So one thing that's taught me is that there's always someone someone prettier than you, cooler than you, more popular than you, but there'll never be someone as accessible and cheap as you. Amen. Can I get a virtual amen? Yes, amen. Cool. I see you. I feel you. I feel the energy. Thank you so much. And I am about to turn 30, which wouldn't be so bad, except in gay years. 30 is like a senior citizen. I might as well retire. You know, the twinks come out of the woodworks and they start calling you daddy. And I'm just not ready to be a father. Like, I'm not ready for that kind of responsibility in my life. I am a cat dad, and that's where I limit the fatherly bond in my life. And almost turning 30 has me thinking a lot about my life and my coming out story and how grand it was. Just kidding, it was literally so anticlimactic. But in school, I never had to come out. I always just kind of was, and I was gay, and people just yeah, he's fucking gay, and I just never had to have a big reveal, or it was never a secret that was weighing me down in school. And I've been watching those Hollywood movies and TV shows. It's always this dark secret that they have to fight against, and it's I'm gay, but nobody knows, and this is high school, and it's so tough in high school. What if Cindy finds out? For me, it wasn't that. I just was. Nobody gave a fuck in my. Maybe since I'm from South Florida, so nobody gave a fuck. Trust me, I would have loved to get rawed by my best friend who happens to be a cowboy in a tent in the mountains of Wyoming. Brokeback Mountain, yeah. I would have loved that, but it just simply isn't that experience in real life. At home, though, it was a little bit different. Mind you, I never tried to hide it. I was into musical theater, and I was and still am a hardcore Britney Jean Spears fan. #Free Britney. And so my parents were kind of oblivious, but they didn't care. They were liberal. They were always open-minded. But I had this thing in my head where if it's me, they're gonna disown me. Because we grew up listening to people say I don't mind if gay people exist. It's just not my son, not my daughter. And so in your head you're oh, if it's me, they're gonna have an issue. So there was one day I was 16. I was a junior in high school, and I was exploding with teenage angst, and I had boy problems at the time. And nobody could figure out what the hell was wrong with me at home. My parents were why are you like this? And I was just oh, life was too hard. And so there was one day where I couldn't take it anymore. And I texted my mom while she was inside the house. She was in the bathroom. The poor woman was in the bathroom doing her business. And I'm I'm gay. I texted her that I was gay. And next thing I hear is the toilet and washing hands really fast and drying them, and I hear everything. And she comes out and she's crying. I'm crying. We hug. She's why didn't you ever tell me? And I was I don't know. And then she goes, we need to go tell your dad. And it's 12 o'clock at night. It's late. It's a school night. She's we need to go tell your dad. Let's wake him up and tell him. And I'm maybe not. She's yeah, let's go wake him up. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll be there with you. And I'm crying. She's kind of over it by now. So she's okay, let's just get this over with. We wake my dad up, and he's super confused as I'm crying. My mom's pushing me, and he's what happened? And then the most ironic, unironic line, he goes, did you get kicked out of West Side Story? As if my dad that's did I get kicked out of West Side Story? I was a dancer in fucking West Side Story. I had Britney posters in my room. I was doing the choreography in my room. Oops, I did it again since I was 10. Come on, dad, the signs are there. And I'm still crying. And my dad's like, what is it? Did you get suspended? And I'm like, no. And my mom just goes, he's gay. Like the most anticlimactic reveal ever. And he goes, wow. And then he walked out of the room, and I have not seen my father since. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Oh my God, I'm going to hell. Totally kidding. My dad took it well. He was like, okay, cool, whatever, after he processed it. And now my parents are the most supportive parents ever, like to the point where it's like, I think they're the gay ones and I'm not, because they would literally, they like gays more than I like gays. I mean, we know how we gays are, but they love gays. They'll go to Pride without me. Like if I can't go, they'll be like at Pride with like signs that have my face, like we love our gay son. And I'm like, mom, dad, like people are literally gonna think I'm dead, like with my face, like it's like a memorial. I'm like, at least help me find a man. Like almost 30. Please help me find a man when you go to Pride, mom and dad, if you're watching this. Thank you guys so much for spending the first 5-ish, 6-ish minutes with me. Like I said, I am one of the hosts of tonight. So without further ado, I want to bring one of my best friends on screen with me so you guys can meet him. And he happens to be the birthday boy as well. So Tarek, please, join me. Yeah!
People of the world.
Birthday queen. I'll let you take it away. Mwah.
Oh my God. Hello, everyone. I'm Tariq the Freak. I'm the resident Arab at Villain Theater. We have quite the show for you today. It's an all queer cast from all over the world. And we're gonna start off with some of our very own villainers, or villains, that's how you say that. Anyways, our very own villains. You might have seen them do some improv. Some of them do some improv. Our first comedian, she's actually our musical director, and she's my favorite lesbian. And she's one of the most talented performers at our theater, and she is about to do an amazing set for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Priscilla Blanco.
Whoop, whoop. What's up? Thank you, Villain Theater. Thank you, Tarek, for having me here tonight. I'm excited because, I've been doing a lot of thinking during this time that we're all at home. And I have to say, if there's anything that I am more thankful for than music, because as you know, I'm a music director and all that, but almost as close as I love music, I love weed. Yeah. It's a blessing. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it helps us not sweat the small stuff, right? You log on to Facebook and that fucking asshole Karen disliked your post and starts talking shit. But you know what? You light up a joint, forget about it. Don't feed into that negative energy, right? On top of that, it helps relieve tension and stress. When you're spiraling and you're like, fuck, I've been home for 4 months. What? Relax, all right? At least you're not in prison, okay? Go smoke a joint, okay? Relájate. But it also helps us think about things that should really have more thought, right? Things that we should consider a little bit more deeply. And that's how I ended up thinking about the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem. Yeah. For those of you who might not know what that tune is, it's that song that goes, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose breast raps and bright stars to the perilous fight, or the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets right glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Yeah. Oh, say, does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave, or the land of the free? Don't forget that. And the home of the brave. Beautiful. So, that tune, yeah, because most Americans know Happy Birthday more than they know the Star-Spangled Banner. I bet you, out of 61% of Americans who know that, that 61% is probably mainly those immigrants who went to become naturalized citizens and had to be tested on it. Yeah, I would bet money on that shit. But let's go a little bit deeper, the Star-Spangled Banner, words written by Francis Scott Key. And people, are saying, yo, this dude was actually like for equality. Like, look at what he wrote. Like, it was so beautiful. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer, which means he was into politics, all right? He was a author, and he also was an amateur poet. Emphasis on amateur. And, you know, during the War of 1812 in Baltimore, he's like watching his buddies fight and like get blown up and shit. And I'm like, bro, the trauma that he must have been dealing with when he saw that shit, intense. But this slave owner, Francis Scott Key, decided to write some words to talk about how he felt when he saw that shit. And particularly verse 3 of the Star-Spangled Banner. Let me read it to you. And where is that band who so wantonly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of freedom or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave, or the land of the free. Don't forget that. Beautiful. So motherfuckers writing shit that is racist as fuck, and this is our national anthem. But wait, let's talk about the melody. All right, the person who composed this song, a British composer, John Stafford Smith. He was part of the Anacreontic Society in London, a gentleman's club essentially. So we're singing a fraternity song, ladies and gentlemen. Drinks up, yeah, America. You know, Herbert Hoover did the most American thing he could do. Take something that is not necessarily American and claim it as our own. When he chose the Star-Spangled Banner in 1931 as our national anthem, he had other options. Oh yeah. He had other options, and this is where the lesbians come in. Have you heard of that little tune called America the Beautiful? If you haven't, listen to the difference, all right, in rhetoric. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Bro, if I could sing that every day, I feel like we would all be in such positive mood. We're not talking about blowing shit up. We're talking about how beautiful America is. And you know what? That is thanks to my home girl, yes, lesbian, Catherine Lee Bates.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like we have like similarities, no? But yeah, yo, Catherine Lee Bates. She was she had a master's in English literature. She was a scholar. She was an activist. She worked for women's rights. She worked for immigrant rights, for people of color. She worked for the poor. And on top of that, she was dating the president of Wellesley College. All right, these two lesbians were power fucking couples. All right, and Herbert Hoover had the option of picking this beautiful rhetoric to represent us nationally, and he chose the straight white man. The straight, racist white man. Yeah. So my whole point here is, ladies and gentlemen, the lesbians are here for the greater good. The lesbians are here for America. Because you know what? When Catherine Lee Bates was in Colorado Springs, up in fucking Pikes Peak, 14,000 feet above America, looking at how beautiful this country actually is, she was thinking about the women, the children, the people of color that built up this fucking country. Herbert Hoover could have done better. And that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.
Woo!
Yeah. Priscilla 2020.
Oh my God.
Yes. One of my favorite people in the whole. Oh, were you talking about this? I just slipped and
Did you just do a costume change in the middle of the freaking show?
I did a costume edition.
Are you stealing my attention? It's my birthday.
We talked about things.
You're so shady. Is that why you're performing in the shady lip sync battle coming on later?
Maybe. Speaking of shady, we have an amazing next comedian, and I'm really excited for him. He is the coach of YAS at Villain Theater. He is an improviser, a singer, a Joey Fatone imitator. You name it, he does it. He does kids parties. If you want a birthday animator, call him up. His name is no one else but the one and only Patrick.
Hey. First of all, never hire a Joey Fatone impersonator for your kid's birthday party. That is absolutely not. So, like Al said, my name is Patrick, and oh my, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Don't worry. I'm not sick. I'm not infected or anything. I've had this cough for like since oh my god since May of last year. So it's like what May is the 5th month. I'm bad at math because you know whatever. But it's like 14 months now, which is like actually like the longest relationship I've ever had. So I mean. Like my second longest relationship was 11 months and 3 weeks. That's right. He broke up with me 1 week before our anniversary, which was also my birthday. So it's okay. It's okay. He works for Ryan Murphy now, so he won, you know, so that's great. Yeah. So my name's Patrick. I do all this wonderful things at Villain Theater. Thank you for having me, Al and Tarek. Happy birthday, Tarek. But during the day, what I do is I'm a high school teacher, right? But it's not so impressive. I teach drama to middle and high school. So it's middle, high school, 6 through 12. So I see from ages 11 all the way to 18, right? And it's going to keep happening. So, so I teach from 6 to 12, and I'm really excited to go back to school with this chronic because I can only imagine good things are going to happen. I really enjoy the idea that I'd be like a frontline worker, you know, all these things. It's like kind of ridiculous, actually. But honestly, I'm going to get kind of real with you all right now. At the end of last year, when we went to online learning, it's like it was kind of inspiring in a way. It's awful, right? Like that we had to do that, that we're going through this terrible time, this pandemic. So many people have been affected by this. But to see the kids, you know, and I see a lot, like a wide age range. So even though I'm looking at this next year with dread, no matter how we go back to it, whether it's in person with extra precautions or online distance learning, I know that they are so resilient and they're just gonna, whatever they do, they're gonna find a way to just ignore everything I have to say, no matter what. They're gonna ignore my assignments, my lectures, all the things I'm gonna do. And you know what? I have to respect it. I do. So, I am the head coach of YAS. And I'm gay. That's my identity. I love it. But you know, it's hard to be a queer. It's kind of hard when you have a queer identity to sort of navigate like how you view yourself in the world, right? Because we're all special and we're all beautiful and we're all wonderful snowflakes, right? But so we tend to try and find a ways to like label ourselves even more as a way to like, you know, empower ourselves. So we have like, if you're a gay man, we have twinks, we have bears, we have otters, whatever. I'll give you 3 guesses as to one which I am. I am, okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, I'm a bear. Okay, it's obvious. But beyond that, I like to kind of like spice it up with like a few other identities because, you know, I am needing attention. And I like to call myself starter gay, right? A starter gay. So if you've never heard of that, I mean, I made it up on my own, but it may be a term already out there. But it's basically a gay person that's like designed to introduce straight people to this idea of a queer identity, a queer person, right? So I'm like that. I'm the appetizer, right? So I'm like something to cleanse the palate, and somebody to just kind of like make them feel comfortable with the idea of a gay person to show that, you know, I love who I love, and that could be a really beautiful thing. Or in my case, not so beautiful, but still for many people, I hear it's great. A good example of a starter gay, like if you remember that, Pete Buttigieg, like reach into the memories of just things. I'm so topical, I know. But Pete Buttigieg was one of the Democratic candidates for president, and he was the first openly gay man to run, right? Which is great, except that he was kind of like, whatever. People liked him, some people didn't like him, but the point is that I'm kind of exactly that demo to make like straight people feel comfortable. So I'm kind of like exactly like Pete Buttigieg, except that I'm not so much an elf on the shelf, so much as a bear on the stair, right? I'm just kidding. I don't climb stairs. I glide. Anyways, it's interesting time to be gay at home and single, especially like right now. It's just because I'm still on the apps. Like I'm on every single app that you could possibly think of. Grindr, Scruff, Tinder, Facebook dating app, Hinge, WhatsApp, I don't know, whatever, anything. And so what's interesting about it is that a good silver lining that's happened is that I finally have an excuse to like deny guys from coming over. I finally have a reason, right? And it's really nice to be able to say, hey, you know, times are crazy. I can't have you come over. I can't host, right? And they understand that, as opposed to, hey, sorry, I live with my mom. She's in the next room. You can't come over, right? So that is my time. Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful night. I'll be back later tonight, so just imagine that.
Woo! Yeah.
Yes. Patrick Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen, one of the stars, true stars of the villain. Triple teddy bear. We love you, Patrick. That was good. Anyways, we got plenty of show for you left. The next comedian is my improv sister. We're in lots of improv teams together. We started this comedy journey together. She's hilarious. She is sexy. And please give a round of applause and a warm welcome to Victoria Haig.
Woo!
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I accidentally muted myself. I'm still getting used to this whole Zoom thing. I swear it's been like 6 months online and I can't get used to it. Anyway, my name is Victoria and I am a survivor of quarantine part 1.
Yeah.
It is definitely coming soon to a couch near you because nobody wants to wear fucking masks, so it's just a matter of time. I did catch the coronavirus back in March and it was really bad. I just had this really crazy headache and the only thing that I could think of, I had a headache and I couldn't smell anything. So I thought I had like some type of like tumor or something like pressing on my brain. It was just really bad. So my first thing I did, I went on Facebook. I assigned a legacy contact, right? I deleted all my nudes, threw away all my toys. Anything I thought would be embarrassing to my family, I just got rid of it. So yeah, it was really bad. I literally couldn't smell shit, which was especially stressful for me because I like to smell my shit. That's how I know what's wrong with me. The fact that I couldn't do that, it was extra stressful for me. I didn't know what was wrong. It wasn't until I got tested and I realized, okay, I was positive for COVID. So it definitely was a relief for me. It sounds crazy. It sounds strange that I would be relieved, but I was. Partly because I knew what was wrong with me, and second of all, I knew I wouldn't have to go to work. So it was one of those things. It was like, go to work healthy or stay home and fight a potentially deadly virus. For some reason, the the second option sounded like a much better choice for me. But yeah, I just didn't feel well at all. So, and I knew if it was like a bullshit flu that was taking me down, I would have felt much worse. So, plus I got antibodies. So if you guys need some, I got you. So tonight we're celebrating Tarek's birthday, and it's an all queer cast. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story about how I realized I was pan, or I didn't even really know what pansexual meant. The first time that I heard it, it was I was dating this girl. We didn't really date. Knowing her definitely made me realize that homosexual relationships have the same potential to be just as confusing as heterosexual relationships. The difference is in homosexual relationships, you come quicker. That's the only difference between the two. But yeah. Anyway, so she told me I was pansexual, and the first thing that I wondered in my head was, is it because I like to cook? And she was like, no. She was like, no, it's because you like to eat. And I was like, oh, okay. that makes a lot of sense. To this day, I still like imagine like being in my kitchen and like backing it up on my frying pan, like, oh yeah, this all clad makes me glad, you know, like. I actually came out to my mom, and the way it happened was kind of funny, but we were on the phone and she was berating me, asking me, when are you gonna get married? What is this? You know, are you a lesbian? And I was like, you know what? Actually, I am. I'm pansexual. That's exactly what it is. And she was like, what's that? And I told her it means, regardless of the person's gender identity, I can have an attraction to men, women. It doesn't.
Woo!
I don't discriminate when it comes to that. And she's like, what? What do you mean? So I told her flat out. I was like, Mom, I will fuck him, she, they, them, whoever gives me the love and affection I was so desperately deprived of as a child.
Yes.
Stop.
That she pretty much went off on this tangent, and she fully supports my decision. That's how I know for a fact. Anyway, that was my time. Thank you guys.
Yes. Give it up for Victoria. Like a gay emoji. Yes. All right, now we have the moment you've been all waiting for. Yes, it is the birthday boy himself. Please welcome out Tarek.
What's up, everyone? I feel like my hair is going like this way. Anyways, bad hair B-day. Bad B-day hair day. I don't know. It is my birthday, yes. Me and J-Lo, by the way, have the same birthday. So that'll let you know who you're dealing with right now. Okay? or not, I'm not. I don't have 300 mil. But I have a huge ass. No, I don't have that either. But yeah, I'm Tarek. It's my birthday. I am a Leo, bitch.
Yes.
Selfish. We are. It's kind of funny, but we are. It's fucked up because after analyzing myself for 34 years, wow. I've realized I'm such a Leo bitch that when I'm dating someone and they lose interest in me, I lose interest in them. Like, my interest in someone is based on how much they like me, okay? That's crazy. So most of the time, masturbation is fine. I don't need to have sex. Moving right along. My name is Tarek. I'm an Arab Latino. Yeah, people are like, Arab Latino? What the fuck? What do you mean by Arab Latino? Like you're gonna bomb the place, then you're gonna clean it up? That doesn't make sense. But no, an Arab Latino means I'm like Shakira. You know Shakira. La, 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 la. You know, I'm just like her. She's Colombian Lebanese. I am Guatemalan Palestinian. Yeah, I know. So she can dance, she can sing, and I can complain. That's what I can do. Oh, and I can negotiate. I can negotiate a freaking souvenir or tchotchke like no one's business. Okay, I come from the lands of tchotchkes. All right, from Chichicastenango, Guatemala to Jerusalem, Palestine. Yes, I did. I've been negotiating tchotchkes for a long freaking time. Okay. Anyways, yeah, being a Palestinian queer is crazy because not only does the world already hate me for being Palestinian, but my family hates me for being queer. So it's fine. Everyone hates me, so it's like no one hates me. You know what I mean? What is hate? Hate is love. Hate is attention. All publicity is good publicity when you're gay. but it's funny because I have experienced a little bit of racism, a lot of bit of racism as a Palestinian. I went on a date with an Israeli guy, and he was really hot and he was working out, but then his racism, he was a racist one, and he was trying to say some things, and he eventually said that Palestine didn't exist and Palestinians didn't exist. So then I went to the bathroom and I ghosted him. And then he was like, oh my God, where are you? What the fuck? Did you just ghost me? And I was like, bitch, I don't exist. Palestine doesn't exist, right? So you were on a ghost with nobody. You were on a date with nobody, boo. Anyway, being gay is it's cool. It's tough too, but we do have some privileges. One of the biggest privileges is being best friends with straight women. Okay, no one will ever understand a straight woman like a gay man. Why? Let me explain to you why. We are both in this battle for the dick together, okay? And let me tell you, if you choose to pursue the dick, you will suffer. You will need support, you know? Okay, the dick is broke. The dick is smelly. The dick is mean. The dick is stupid, okay? You can't depend on the dick. All you got is your gay and your bitch, okay? So gay men and gay women, you know, we communicate in a way that straight men and straight women can't, right? Like there's certain things that gay men can say to straight women that straight men can never, you know? For example, one day, you know, we were joking around. I was one of my best friends. She was with her boyfriend, and he saw that we were joking around, and he thought he was gonna be funny, like a little too funny. And he was like, oh my God, oh my God, if you don't shut up, to his girlfriend, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna put my dick in your fucking mouth. And he thought that was fun. But no, we were like so offended. We're like, wait, what did you fucking just say to her? Oh my God, what the fuck? And we made him feel like shit. We made him feel like he never spoke to her like that again, right? We put him in his place. Okay, fast forward a few weeks later, where my friend was like talking so much, I was like, Dad, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna put a dick in your mouth. And she's like, ah, and he's like, okay, what? Why can you say that and I can't? I'm like, hey, that's a privilege, okay? That's a privilege that we have as gays. But I was saying about coming out, and coming out is not as the movies portray it, or the show, or the video. It is, it can be for you, I don't know. I think for most of us, it's a process. Like you come out a little bit every day, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for me, it was definitely a process. But growing up, my little sister, she was on to me. She was on to me. She's 2 years younger than me. Her name is Lubna. She's watching from London. Hello. And she was on to me. And she wouldn't buy my role of the straight Guatemalan bro. You know what I mean? Which I was totally playing, you know? And she kept pushing me like, yo, I think you're gay. Like, you should just come out. I'm like, stop it, Lubna, stop it. I'm not gay, okay? I'm really into my new girlfriend, Sue. Mind you, the big Spice Girls poster behind me, like, girl power, yes, tell her, you know? She's like, fine, Terry, stop asking you if you're gay. But she was on to me, and she noticed that someone in the house had started downloading gay porn on the family computer. Who could that be? And I was using LimeWire. You remember LimeWire? Yes. Before the Pornhub, you would have to go to LimeWire and like type in a freaking subject, like, you know, gay porn, as I did, and you would start downloading, you know? And it was really confusing. I was a young gay. There were so many titles. I didn't get all these titles. Like, what's Freddy's Fisting Festival? What does that mean? That sounds fun. You know, or like 3 Gay Bears, Goldilocks, Blonde. Like, oh my God, I read the book. Maybe the movie's good. You know, I was so young. So anyways, my sister caught on to it. And one day she decided that she was gonna catch me red-handed and make me come out of the closet. And I woke up like very late, and I went over to the computer and I started watching my gay porn. And my sister snuck up behind me. And she came up and she was like, I got you, you're gay. And I had the audacity to be like, oh my God, wait, no, I'm doing research, okay? And I've been doing lots of research ever since. Anyway, that's my bad. Thank you.
Yeah, woo!
Yes. Give it up from my sister Tarek. Woo! Birthday boy. And now we have someone joining us all the way from Malaysia. Give it up for them. That is Juliana.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah!
Hi everyone,
Hello.
I'm Juliana
Hey.
from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Woot.
Anyone been to Kuala Lumpur before?
No.
Great. You did not miss much. We are just the Asian version of Detroit. So I identify as gender fluid non-binary, which means sometimes I feel like a woman, sometimes I feel like Mickey Mouse. So I actually kind of, my pronouns is they, them. So, but to my parents, they are called grammatical errors. And I kind of look gender ambiguous in where I am. So every time people will ask me, Juliana, which toilet do you use? The male or the female? What kind of question is this? Obviously, the cleaner one. In Asia, it is hard to tell people that you are non-binary because that is quite hard for them to understand. It is very easy for me. It's easier for me to tell them that I don't do programming. Yeah, 1010 binary. Yeah. So yeah. So the thing is, it is easier for me to just tell them if, let's say, people are like just keep asking me, who are you, what are you? I just tell them that I'm a lesbian, and that will just solve the problem. It's much easier than me telling them that I'm non-binary. So the thing is, I went to church, but after that I actually quit because I find it a bit troublesome to go there because they are actually, it's kind of a bit MLM-ish, and I find them that they are very hypocrite, where they say we must have conditional love and hate the gays. Yeah, so that's why it's like, but the thing is, to leave church, it is not that easy. It is kind of like unsubscribing your emails. Yeah, it's like, we miss you, please don't go. We miss you, please come back. So it is quite tricky. So at the end, I have to tell them I'm a lesbian. And that solved the problem. They no longer call me. So yes, the thing is, I'm autistic. So autism happens when one part of the brain grows faster than others. For me, it's my forehead. Well, less of a forehead, more of a five head. When I was 5 years old, I have not started speaking. My mom brought me to see a doctor. The doctor said, Mrs. Heng, your daughter is like a proton car. The power window to her brain does not work. If you're wondering what a proton car is, it is Malaysia's national car that we are still learning to be proud of. It's been 30 years. The power window still doesn't work. They purposely made it that way so that Singaporeans won't claim it. This joke kills in Singapore. Because of my power window problem, I'm a bit slow. In a room like this, when you all listen to jokes, you will laugh immediately. I will laugh a bit later. Tomorrow. For those who aren't laughing right now, don't worry. You are just like me. This kind of reminds me of your president, Donald Trump. Every time a Daily News reporter asked him a question, he only tweeted back a reply at 3 a.m. By the way, this twerp is still saying that the COVID-19 is the Chinese bad flu. I'm Chinese, but don't worry. You won't get the COVID-19 from me through Zoom or YouTube Live. But because I'm autistic, you might get it later. Speaking about laughter, according to laughteronlineuniversity.com, there are 15 types of laughter ranging from the softest to the loudest. As an autistic, I can only pick up 3 types of laughter. The first one goes like this. Ha 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 ha. That's the real laughter. The second one goes like this. It's the polite laughter, which means you suck. And I pity you. And the third type of laughter goes like this. It's the laughter of Singaporeans. No Singaporeans are injured in the making of this joke. We hope. I'm 30 years old this year and still single. There's no joke in this. I just want to tell you I'm still available. Dating is hard for someone like me. I cannot read social cues, emotions, and flirting signals. Sometimes I don't even know when someone wants to kiss me until I feel their tongue. My love life has been a mess. I've been on 6 first dates this year, and all of them ended the same way. They tried to sell me something. Insurance, travel membership, and a human liver. I bought the liver. You will never know when you need one. So I've decided to use an autistic dating app. Many of the people there look very strange and bizarre. That's right. It's called, and all I need to do is to swipe up on someone I like. It's called Pokemon Go. So for someone literal like me, I find dating app names very complicated. For example, Tinder. I actually thought that it's an app for smokers to look for their lighters. Grindr. I thought that it's an app for guys to look for their power tools. And Coffee Meets Bagel. I actually thought that it's a new food delivery app. When the guy comes, he has no food. He is the bagel. We don't have such problems in the autistic dating world. We have an autistic dating site. It has a brilliant name. It's called autisticdating.com. Because we don't fuck around when we want to fuck around. But as I mentioned earlier on, I am single. I'm still single. So clearly, autisticdating.com did not work. So the thing is, I tried dated someone on the spectrum, but it didn't work out. Do you know what happens when 2 autistic people comes together? Nothing.
Oh my God.
It's just like putting 2 pandas together. We think the same, we act the same, we play Pokemon Go separately. Clearly, we are the experts of social distancing. We have been practicing this practice long before it becomes a government order. And at the end of the day, I decided to date someone neurotypical because that way I always get to be special. People can be unkind at times. I once had a boss who told me, Juliana, you don't look autistic. And I told him, what a coincidence. You don't look like a boss. People also say, Juliana, you have autism. You have no friends. That's not true. I have many friends. A lot of people call me. They all work at KFC, Pizza Hut, and McDonald's. They always say the same thing to me. Juliana, enjoy your meal. People also say, Juliana, you have autism. Does that mean that you have commitment issues and you're unable to hold down a full-time job? That's not true. My commitment issues and my job issues has nothing to do with my autism. I'm just a shitty person. I was an accountant. I quit. I hated it. It's so boring. Yes, I'm an Asian autistic person who hates maths. People say that vaccine causes autism, but thanks to COVID-19, people are now demanding for a vaccine. There is a conspiracy theory that states that researchers have already found the vaccine for COVID-19, just that they are still finding out how this vaccine can cause autism. Since when autistic people become so in demand? And yes, I've actually volunteered to be part of their pilot testing. And today, I can say I am super autistic. I'm so autistic that now I'm off the spectrum. So people also say, Juliana, you have autism, you cannot drive. That's not true. I'm a very conservative driver. My maximum speed limit is only 50 miles per hour on the oncoming lane. Even better, I'm actually an Uber driver back home in Asian Detroit. Don't worry. The power window to my car works. Uber sent a message to my passengers informing them that I'm disabled. I appreciate them for doing that, but there is a problem. They did not state what kind of disability I have. Because of that, every time I drive up to my passengers, they will cancel on me when they see me in sunglasses.
Ooh, yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, Juliana, that was hilarious. Thank you for joining us all the way from Malaysia. Yes. So from the Malaysian coast to the West American coast, she's the queen of momedy in the Bay Area, California girl. One of my favorite comics on Facebook. Please give it up for Miss Lalita D.
Woo!
Much, Tarek. Thank you, everybody who was here before me. It was fantastic, fantastic show. It's been a fantastic day. We have some great news today. Trump's approval rating is down to like 35%. It's incredible. 35%. I know. 1/3 of people think he's doing a good job. That's like 13 of you out there. Okay, you know who you are. Really not very good. It's an amazing, amazing statistic. I'm not actually really from the Bay Area, but I live there now. You can probably hear that. People love to compliment me on my accent. You know, they like to tell me my accent is cute, which I don't know how I feel about that, because I work out and, you know, I make an effort. I don't know if I think that my accent should be the cutest thing about me, but sure, thank you. This accent is not cute, you know, this accent murdered your ancestors. Just saying. Not all that cute. These are stressful times, as I already said. Trump, politics, you know, like families fighting over politics. When I was little, like 4 or 5 years old, my dad used to say to me, I don't care if you become a lesbian. as long as you never vote conservative.
Yeah.
Oh, parental expectations. He'd be he'd be so proud. I do have a teenage son. He reminds me of the United States Supreme Court. He grudgingly accepts my right to exist. Yeah, it's not good. But he is typical white American teenager. He has his daily dose of Oreos, attitude, and he got his Ritalin prescription when we'd been in the United States around like 3 years, and we were living the American dream. I put on 30 pounds and he got an ADHD diagnosis. Is all we had come for. It was incredible. Let's see. Oh, I did not have a gender reveal party when I was pregnant with him.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Being a lesbian, I was not going to celebrate the possibility of having a penis inside me. Parenting hack here for you. I love to remind him of that fact in public. When too much against me, I'll just remind him of that little fact. I conceived him the way God intended, on my back with a man in the room next door with a porn magazine and a cup. And when the doctor came into the room to, you know, put the little swimmers inside me, I was listening to a motivational insemination tape. And I was visualizing the like sperm being really good swimmers, you know, get to the egg. And the best part about that story is that my son now actually is a really good swimmer. So the moral of the story is I should have gotten a tape that encourages sperm to become rich. That would have been much better. The gender reveal party that I did not have, you know, it's one of those weird American traditions that I do not understand. It's like the baby shower. What's with the baby shower, people? What's up with I feel that only in this country would people monetize their unborn child. I think the real reason people are anti-abortion, capitalism. Yeah. But listen, I think we're all a little bit fed up with online comedy. You know, as Victoria was saying, it's only been 6 months. Still getting used to it. But I think it's kind of nice because my very small apartment. And also I can do this little thing where I show you Lalita's quarantine recommendations. Okay. So here's something I feel that we cannot live without anymore. Look, this is hand sanitizer. Now, I never used to be in favor of this at all because I thought this was big pharma interrupting my life. I used to think, I still do, and the way that Republicans think of Muslims, you know, not good. I see Danny in a bottle. But I have to admit, it says here it kills 99.99% of all germs. And you know, being European, I'm always on the side of the underdog. So I can't help but, you know, be rooting for the 0.01%. All right, what else have we been doing in quarantine? We have been reading, right? We have been reading. This book should come with a trigger warning for white people. This book made me feel bad about myself. So I put it away because that's what we do. And then I got this book. This book made me feel worse about myself. It was not nor productive. Decided white people books, no, they're shit. That was like a 101 in self-loathing. My absolute favorite quarantine recommendation, however, are these earplugs. I'm just going to lower my voice a little because my neighbors can hear everything I say because I can hear everything I say. I have to wear them because otherwise I hear them have sex. And the reason I don't want to hear them have sex is not that I'm sex negative. That's not it. Just they're not very good at it. They're straight, so that's already a problem. But I can't hear her. So if I'm not wearing these, I just want to there, you know, put it there and be like, let me show you how this is. And that's against the terms of my, yeah, I highly recommend these. Now, don't think I against men, not at all. I just think about men the same way that I think of overhead lighting. You know, it exists. That's okay. That doesn't mean I have to turn it on. Oh, yes. Priscilla, this is for you. So I actually became a US citizen last year.
Oh.
Okay, you don't get anything. I got this from a friend. Time, yeah, what a time to be swearing allegiance to the Constitution, whatever. So they give you an exam. They do not make you learn that song. Thank God, they do make you, but we didn't have to memorize it. But they do ask you questions. You have to pass an exam, which I was very excited about. And the first thing they said to me was, "What rule of law?" And I said, the rule of law, nobody gives a fuck, mate. Have you seen the news? What kind of question is that? And then they also asked me if I had ever supported the Nazi government. I'm like, okay, the Nazi government in Germany that was in power 75 years ago, did I ever support them? Like, I understand I don't look my best in an immigration office at 8 o'clock in the morning, but you know, that felt unnecessary, really. More importantly, I had no idea what the right answer was, you know? I mean, these days, right, it's really hard to know. They're like, welcome to America. Are you a Nazi? No. It was scary, but it all worked out fine. Hey, what's with under the nose masking? What's with those people? Have you seen those, right? The ones with the mask with under the nose. I just always want to go up to them, but I don't, for obvious reasons. But I want to go up to them and I want to say, do you just not know how breathing works? And we're still getting those memes, right, on social media, the ones that go, do you actually know anybody that's had COVID, right? You know, those were 4 million people into it, and people still feel the need to ask that question. I think the people that pose that question are the same people who are still looking for scientific evidence of the female orgasm. Yeah, much like me when I'm listening to my neighbors. COVID, yeah, I guess we have to talk about it. Yes, so they said, I read that women, countries that have women leaders have better outcomes when it comes to COVID. And so I started thinking, wow, what would the world look like if we had more women leaders? What would it look like if we had more empathy, compassion, positive can-do energy in leadership? And I came to the conclusion, we'd have better porn. We'd have much better porn, especially lesbian porn. Lesbian porn sucks. Vote women. Hashtag take back Pornhub. I'm doing that quite soon. So yeah, I'm the queen of momedy. I like to talk about my kid, and like a lot of parents, there's some anxiety, right, about whether you're a good parent or not, and I think that plays out in the queer community perhaps a little bit more. But I found out recently, definitively, I'm a good mom. And this is how I know. Okay, so when the library's closed, I bought myself a Kindle. Now my kid loves to read. He's had a Kindle for years. And so when I got my Kindle, his books started coming up on my Kindle because we share the same account. So I started looking, and among all the Japanese like anime and manga, there was one chapter book, book with words. And it wasn't a genre that I think we would call erotica. The book was called something like Losing My Innocence. It was basically porn in words. And so, I started reading it. It was really good. It was really good. And I was thinking, wow, that boy, right? I mean, he's really into graphic novels, but when it comes to porn, he likes a narrative. Yeah, that's some first-class lesbian parenting. I will take all credit for that. That's been my time. Thank you so much. Handing it back to you.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Lalita. And I can totally emphasize with that. I love a good porn with a good storyline. So we have that in common with yourself. And we have reached the final set. We have a very special performer, one of my favorite comedians on Instagram and just everywhere. I've seen him here perform before at Villain Theater, so I'm really excited to see him now here as well with us. His name is Oscar, and he's performed all over the country, including the TBS Comedy Festival. Give it up for Oscar.
Oh my gosh, Al, thank you so much. You'll have to pardon, I'm actually on the subway in New York City right now, going nowhere. Oh my gosh, Al, you talked about like coming out of the closet, and I did not come out of the closet. I think my parents just knew, and I'm gonna give you a little reason. One of it is because my mother dressed me up as Dolly Parton when I was 10 years old for Halloween. Now, I want you to imagine a chubby Arab kid with a unibrow dressed as Dolly Parton at 10 years old. Mind you, I had facial hair because obviously that's how it works. Like I had a full beard when I was 10. So like them dressing me up, I was like, oh, Mom, not sure this is the way to go. Patrick, I love how you talked about you're a bear. That's interesting because, I'm Middle Eastern, so I consider myself a camel. And because here's the thing, right? Like they're not picky eaters. They can store up to 80 pounds of fat and they love to spit. No, I swallow. All right, listen, here's the thing, Lolita, let me tell you something. COVID's been hard. It's been hard on all of us, right? It really, it's been hard. Like, my mom lives across in Europe, and I don't talk to her that much. And, she called me the other day and she was like, Oscar, are you social distancing? Are you wearing a mask? Are you social distancing? And I said, Mom, listen, gays have been social distancing themselves from me for years. So like I am legit #winning at this social distancing game, right? Like I'm winning on all aspects of it. So a little bit about me. I am, my name's Oscar. I live in New York City. I'm a gay man and I am a feminine top, which makes me a blouse. But I'm Arab, so technically I'm a burqa. So, and here's the thing. What's funny is people are always like, what is a feminine top? They don't get that. They're like, I don't get that. And I'm like, think of it this way. See Tarzan, hear Jane. Like that's how it usually works. A little bit more about me. When I was 10, my mother told me I was adopted. So just FYI. And then about 5 months ago, I was talking to my mom and she was like, we really didn't want you. We really wanted a girl. She was adopted already, so we had to take you. And I was like, wow. Wow. I feel like my mother is just going to continuously ruin my life until I'm dead. Like that's how I'm waiting for her to tell me in another 10 years that I secretly am a trust fund baby and they spent all the money. Like that's legit how I envision this going. recently I found out that I am part Iranian. So Tarek, oh my gosh, sisters, like I know. And what's interesting is like no one ever really gets excited when they find out they're Iranian. Like people love finding out that they're like Irish or they're Norwegian, but like when people find out that they're Iranian, they're like, oh. But like I'd rather just not be on any, you know what, let's just throw those results out the window. But here's some funny things though. Like I'm going to give you some interesting facts about the Middle East, okay? I'm gonna give you some interesting facts. Number one is that Iran once arrested 12 squirrels for spying. 12 squirrels. They arrested 12 squirrels for spying. And did you know that hamsters were discovered in Syria?
Ooh.
I know. And did you know, Tarek, I'm surprised you don't know this. Did you know that Kentucky Fried Chicken is so popular in Palestine that they smuggle it through the tunnels from Egypt?
Yes, that's right. That's a fact.
And do you want to know something? That's my fucking people right there. Like, that's my fucking people. Like, if someone were, like, if some guy came up to me and they're like, Oscar, suicide bombing tomorrow, Jerusalem. I'd be like, oh, so sorry, I can't. I got a 3-piece and a biscuit coming through the tunnel. Like, so sorry. Oh, not today. Like, you know, just, it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, yeah, that's my people. Also, interesting fact is that Iran only averages about 4 inches of rain per year. Isn't that wild? And someone asked me, they're like, Oscar, how is that even possible? And I'm like, listen, I've never seen less than 9. I wish Iran was more progressive. I really do. Like, I wish there was a like Middle East RuPaul's Drag Race. I really do. Like, I think the names would be so much fun. Like, the drag names could be I Ran Away, Livia Majora, Ivana, Right to Vote. Like, I just feel like there's so many fucking good things that could come out of RuPaul's Drag Race Middle East. I'm gonna work on that. Don't worry. I can throw all of these jokes away at the end. I'm fine with that. Let's see. I ghosted my therapist during quarantine. I was like, fuck it. I don't need to talk to her. And here's the thing though, like my therapist, she was 200 years old. Like I think like she was about 200 years. She was a 200-year-old white woman. And honestly, it was really hard to talk to her. Not just because she would fall asleep during our sessions, but also because how do you tell a 200-year-old white woman who looks like Judi Dench that you have a fetish for Puerto Rican men in FedEx uniforms? Like, how does she help? How is she gonna help me with that? Like, how is she going? She can't tell me anything. She's probably gonna be like, get out, right? Get out. You know, I told her about the fact that I have some abandonment issues, and she was like, do you think it's from your adoption? Now, mind you, she's 200. She's like, do you think it's from your being adopted? And I was like, I don't know. I think it's from the 600 plus gay men who have never called me back. Like, honestly, I think that's where my abandonment issues come from. A little bit more about me. I play gay volleyball. Love it, gay fucking volleyball. People always ask me, what the fuck is gay volleyball? And I was like, well, it's gay. And I, for the longest time, tried to figure out how to tell people what gay volleyball is. I'm like, I got it. Imagine 50,000 screaming teenage girls at a Justin Bieber concert. 50,000 screaming teenage girls at a Justin Bieber concert, screeching, yelling. Now take all that sound, take all that noise, and have it come from 6 gay men. Like, that is what gay volleyball is. And here's the thing, I love it because they have some of the best team names. And you know, straight people, you gotta up your game when it comes to team names for sport, like team sports. You really gotta up your game. Like there was this one, what was it? This one team called the Maryland Manholes, and then there was another team that was all Indian, and they were Curry in a Hurry. And then my favorite of all was an all Jewish team, and they were Anne Frank's Hide and Go Seek. Now, when I tell you, I was like, I want to be on that team, and they're like, you can't, you're Iranian, and I'm like, motherfuckers. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want to be on that team. So, you know, I always like to, before I go, I always like to leave people with some, like, kind of like positive news, like something that's happened that's good in my life. I just paid off 2 credit cards.
Woo!
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's very easy when both credit cards have a combined limit of $200, right? Like it's hashtag winning is very easy. But I did have identity theft recently, and that's hard. That's hard for them because they got nothing. Because they legit got nothing. Because I am like, my credit score is like 300. I think 300, probably 250. And here's the thing: had they just done some research, they would have known that I'm broke as fuck, right? Like, you have all my info. Check out my bank statements. Maybe look at my credit score. Maybe look online, and you'll know that my drag name is Miss Visa Decline. Like, there are clues here, folks. All right, that's my time. I'm Oscar Aiden.
Yes.
Woo! Fun. I
Wow.
love the show.
Oh my God. All of you come out and say goodbye. That was the gayest show ever, you guys.
Let's
Gayest
take
show
a quick
ever.
picture.
And we're international from Malaysia to California. Everyone pose.
2. Another one. Yes, thank you so much, and thank you everyone at home for watching.
Yes, stay tuned for our shady lip sync battle. It's crazy fun. You have to see this. And
Zodiac theme for 3 years Zodiac.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you everyone. Thank you, Oscar, Lolita, T.
Thank you.
Thank you to my villains for doing such a great job. That was amazing. Happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
And thank you
Birthday,
all for
Tarek.
Mwah. Love
Happy
everyone.
birthday, bitch.
See you soon.